Yeah, man.
That's hot shit right there, man.
So what we gonna do? We gonna dub?
News networks are not even getting clicks like that. So this shows like there's an opportunity for this, what we're doing here on this show.
Look up something in back check, kind of like cross reference.
Yeah, I should put the.
You say you look that shit up. That's the name of your show.
Yeah,
that's right. What really drew me in.
Remember, we want you to be an activist, and don't take our word for it. Look that shit up. Pulley.
Looks like we got us another hit.
Yep. EUX. I'm dyslexic. The King Chuck ENTDEUX. That's the backup page. Please check us out there. Help us out a lot. You know, like, share, and subscribe. Yo, and hope I don't get in trouble for playing that last video. I probably shouldn't have played that shit. I'm always testing the damn waters, bro. That shit gonna get me.
You are now.
This is copyright.gov, U.S. Copyright Office. More information on fair use. Fair use is a legal doctrine that promotes freedom of expression by permitting the unlicensed use of copyright-protected works in certain circumstances. Section 107 of the Copyright Act provides the statutory framework for determining whether something is a fair use and identifies certain types of uses such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research as examples of activities that may qualify as fair use. Section 107 calls for consideration of the following 4 factors in evaluating a question of fair use: purpose and character of the use, including whether the use of the commercial nature or is for nonprofit educational purposes, nature of the copyrighted work, amount and substantiality of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole, effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. Okay, so anything I use for you guys, hit me up if you want me to remove it, edit it, or whatever. Nothing is used to infringe on anybody's intellectual property. I don't intend on doing that, and I don't intend on profiting from anyone's intellectual property. So I'm glad to edit or delete anything that's any of my videos that I've used of anybody. So that's it.
Yeah, this is what it is. It's what it is. All talent on trapping and rapping and moving muscle. If it ain't about the hustle, then I don't wanna tussle. All talent on trapping and rapping and moving muscle. If it ain't about the hustle, then I don't wanna tussle. All talent on trapping and rapping and moving muscle. If it ain't about the hustle, then I don't wanna tussle. All talent on trapping and rapping and moving muscle. If it ain't about the hustle, then I don't wanna tussle. I done played the block and it's time to stop. Pop the block, then drop the top. Bunny hop, say fuck, got shake, keep it hot up on my block. Keep it not up in my pocket. You know the G and I can't be stopped. Flip the script with serving hill. Keep the heat on Silent Hill. You know when I know that feel water just so cold. Riding on boats, slamming wood dough. Sipping on drink, fucking these hoes. Riding on boats, push kilos. Me and my boys ball out of control. Got so much ice you can balance Super Bowl. Me, Lil G, I can't be hoe. Look at my mouth, see number go. Fuckin' with a knife, we'll make you fold. Look at my room, see number polo. Step in the bed and in the studio. Over your nose, and smell of smoke. Over your mouth, and start to blow. Now you know we got that dope, cause me and my boys about out of control. We keyed up and G'd up, we should've lost straight speed up. We should've decided to pull my heat up. Lost things going back, I'm fucked up. Nigga, we keyed up and G'd up. Once should've lost straight speed up. We should've decided to pull my heat up. Lost things going back, I'm fucked up. All talent on trapping and rapping and moving muscle. If it ain't about the hustle, then I don't wanna tussle. All talent on trapping and rapping and moving muscle. If it ain't about the hustle, then I don't wanna tussle. All talent on trapping and rapping and moving muscle. If it ain't about the hustle, then I don't wanna tussle. All talent on trapping and rapping and moving muscle. If it ain't about the hustle, then I don't wanna tussle.
Hitting niggas in they fucking head with a crack. Bustin' up, bustin' back with a gap that spits venom, you sitting black. And when the bottom of the knife and it smack, he bleeds.
The cat's wax and I'm burned.
Cause he ain't suffered enough, hustled enough, scuffling cuff his hand to a cop, nothing discussed, cutting his nuts to his cock. Something to shock a spark out your heart when you stop jogging in the park. And you meet a nigga dog that fighting ball, blood spilling on the sidewalk. Staying in the light is smart despite staying on course, of course, cause the smell of death escaping out of corpse is rough. Top half man and I be damned if they bottom half horse. Hush, lost souls rushing to touch the black hole, wishing to be dust gagging and fuss, cause the demon face leaking pus.
All talent on trapping and rapping and moving muscle. If it ain't about the hustle, then I don't wanna tussle. All talent on trapping and rapping and moving muscle. If it ain't about the hustle, then I don't wanna tussle. All talent on trapping and rapping and moving muscle. If it ain't about the hustle, then I don't wanna tussle. All talent on trapping and rapping and moving muscle. If it ain't about the hustle, then I don't wanna tussle. Trapping and rapping ain't about the hustle. I don't wanna tussle. Out trapping and rapping ain't about the hustle. I don't wanna tussle. Out.
You are now tuned
Lil G,
to the star
KC, real.
Bambino.
Sit by myself
And I think about my life,
and I think about my past.
I be like my future shy.
Damn, my future shine.
Damn, my future shy.
Damn, my future shine.
Damn, my future
When I
shy.
sit by myself
And I think about my life,
and I think about my
I
past.
be like my future shy.
Damn, my future shine.
Damn, my future
Hey,
shy.
damn, my future shine.
Damn, my future shy. Been building since '96. It's been a trip. Just trying to survive in this bitch. And you wonder why, where I'm from. Every time I turn around, dumber and dumber trying to pull me down. All my niggas screaming, just get up out of H-Town. But I ain't, this is where I make my bank. Plus I got unfinished business with a skank. G's be my witness, I'ma hit hard as a tank. I can't stop Casey the prophet, God of the day. I trust the game with a case for being fake, for thought hate all of y'all, and I'm willing to eliminate anyone up in my way. Sitting living in the belly of the beast, predator and prey. Either get ate, pray you ain't the next nigga on my plate. Hey,
I be like, damn, my future shy. That's why I let all my anger out when I get up on the mic. They say life is what you make it, but shit, that's like rolling dice, man. Let me tell you something, man. Life ain't all night. People be like, man, that's gravy, man, but that shit is right. Let me tell you something, you tell them the truth, they be like, that ain't right. But shit, life is shice, it's like putting up with a fight. If you fuck with me, can't see, we'll punch out your life. When I sit by myself,
and I think about my life,
and I think about my
I
past.
be like my future shy.
Yeah, my future shy.
Damn, my future shy.
Yeah, my future shy.
Damn, my future shy.
When I sit by myself,
And I think about my life,
and I think about my past.
I be like my future shy.
Yeah, my future shy.
Damn, my future shy.
Yeah, my future shy.
Hey, damn, my future shy.
I ain't feeling your side, I'm
feeling alright. I'ma get inside, I'm feeling my life. I ain't feeling your side, I'm feeling alright. I'ma get inside, I'm feeling my life. I'm digging your wife, she playing my mic. She really so nice, I call her my light. I say we off light, cause we stay up all night. Bet you ain't know she to take it all tight. Tell her, bend it over, let me take a small bite. Been waiting since October, see that ass fall right. Looking around the room, see passport eyes. And adrenaline feeling like a NASCAR ride. When the people ask about this, your ass gon' lie. Cause the truth is you did what you do in your life. Can't nobody tell you what to do with your life. Girl, gon' turn it over cause I know what you like. It's hard in the color of the asphalt, right? Just lay back and wonder what the past was like. While you looking at your panties ripped in half, that's right. While you looking at your panties ripped in half, that's right. I ain't feeling your side, I ain't feeling your side. I'm feeling alright, I'm feeling alright. I'ma get inside, I'm feeling my life. I'ma get inside, I'm feeling my life. I ain't feeling your side, I ain't feeling your side. I ain't feeling alright, I'm feeling alright. I'ma get inside, I'm feeling my life. I'ma get inside, I'm feeling my life. Let me tell you a little something about life. Win, lose or draw, I'm still taking your life. I mean, if you ever wanna fucking come in my sight, you scream like you never screamed in your life. Flip it on over, gon' do it like this. Not riding with a soldier, then you ride against it. Looking from the other side, make your stomach get sick. Every person scheming, thinking he the one to get rich. Ever sit and really think what you would do with one wish? And if you knew afterward, you'd be sleeping with fish. Style will be done, here we come. Bearing gifts, these images make you wanna grab your crucifix. It's getting dark outside, no sleeping past 6. Not living in fear, cause that's really not it. If you owe me something, Nick, better give me my shit. If you owe me something, Nick, better give me my shit. I ain't feeling your side, I ain't feeling your side. I'm feeling alright, I'm feeling alright. I'ma get inside, I'ma get inside, I'ma get inside. I'm feeling my life, I ain't feeling your side, I ain't feeling your side. I'm feeling alright, I'm feeling alright. I'ma get inside, I'm feeling my life. I'ma get inside, I'm feeling my life. Sliding on in, this is it, instant win. If hip hop broke, put on some fix it then. Take real life shit, go ahead and mix it in. Not just streets unless that's where you sleeping in. They hungry out there, that's why we eating in. Honestly, don't even let the church thinking in. Blasphemous if you think I'm speaking sin. Survival is a must for all the creatures in. If you feeling life's tough, then you probably need a fin. Have a sucker, popsicle or something, take it in. Sharp teeth, eat meat, origin involvement. Why the UFC give you more than a grin? Why you take a seat when the foraging begin? Why you gotta creep just horn in the wind? I'ma stop cause I'm just Al Goring with a pen. I'ma stop cause I'm just Al Goring with a pen. I ain't feeling your side, I ain't feeling your side. I'm feeling alright, I'm feeling alright. I'ma get inside, I'm feeling my life. I'ma get inside, I'm feeling my life. I ain't feeling your side, I ain't feeling your side. I'm feeling alright, I'm feeling alright. I'ma get inside, I'm feeling my life. I'ma get inside, I'm feeling my life. Hitting niggas in they fucking head with a crack. You bustin', I'm bustin' back with a gat that spits venom. Hitting niggas in they fucking head with a crack. You bustin', I'm bustin' back with a gat that spits venom. Hitting niggas in they fucking head with a crack. You bustin', I'm bustin' back with a gat that spits venom. Hitting niggas in they fucking head with a crack. You bustin', I'm bustin' back with a gat that spits venom. You sending black, and when the bottom of the ninth in the smack, you bleeds the cat's waxing them back. Waxing them.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? How y'all feel? Remember, we want you to be an activist, and don't take our word for it. Look that mess up, please. I ain't gonna lie, you guys, I'm tired tonight, so I don't know how long I'll be on. We're gonna see how this works out. Those Saturday nights be getting me. That's another thing, though. You know, I think I need to change my schedule. So, like, because these Saturday nights are tough. But anyways, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, mothers. Thanks, Mom. So that's the name of the show today is Thanks, Mom, right? So I want to talk about Mother's Day and, like, the history of it, how it came about, how did, you know, we get here. And I also want to, like, stress that, you know, that we should give thanks to our moms and our moms' moms. and our moms. You know what I'm saying? And we should give thanks to Mother Earth. You know, we live in the Garden of Eden. Earth is like a womb. You know, it's a perfect little environment for us as we float through this harsh environment that we call space. And it's total chaos out there, but we got this nice little bubble that we live in, and it protects us from that chaos, just like a mom would do. So, yeah, we should give thanks. Give thanks to Mom, Mother Earth, your mom's mom. It doesn't matter if your mom wasn't there when you grew up, because your mom still like birthed you or whatever. Like they, you know, like you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. So regardless if she was there or not, you still have to give thanks, right? You need to thank her at the very least for that, you know. Thanks, Mom. You know, that egg dropped that month, and Mom decided to get that egg fertilized that month, or otherwise it would have got washed away. That egg that dropped that month was you. And it's the chaos of the universe. So the next eggs didn't make it, you know? And then you had that sperm that had to beat out all the other sperms to get to the egg. So, you know, what I was reading somewhere one day where people was like, you know, you're a winner. Just look at your birth certificate. And it's like that thought really hits my mind, because it's like, you know, it's like a 1 in a million chance that or 1 in a billion chance that either one of us, any one of us even made it. You know what I'm saying? Even became a person. You know, we was fighting against so many things. Now you got abortion. You got, you know, you got so many things that you're fighting against. You know, condoms, birth control. You know what I'm saying? You trying to be born. You know, this is the chaos of it all. So, but you still made it. You're here. You're listening to this program. You're here. You made it. You know what I'm saying? So you give thanks to Mom. And you got to give thanks to the Mother Earth, too, because if it wasn't for Mother Earth, then you wouldn't have nowhere to be after you came out of your mom's womb. So, you know, and then your mom wouldn't have had nowhere to be when she came out of her mom's womb. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the nurturing of the earth, the earth nurtures us, and our mom nurtures us. So we need to give thanks to that. Anyways, I'm kind of waiting for people to get in here. I'm going to get to my little video that I want to play. Let me look for it. Give me a second. I sent this in a group chat to the co-host, but I don't know if they got to really, because it was today. I think I sent it today, early this morning. So they probably didn't get to see it. It's only 10 minutes. And I think it's interesting. I'm going to play a bit of it and try to get my stuff together, y'all, and get the people in the stream.
Jesus Christ says in John chapter 8, verse 32, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." First, a spring festival dedicated to the Greek mother goddess Rhea. The ancient Greek Empire celebrated a spring festival honoring Rhea, sister and wife of Kronos, and the mother of the Greek gods Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. In ancient Greece and Rome, a tribute was celebrated in honor of Rhea, who was regarded as the mother of the gods. According to ancient Greek and Roman mythologies, both Greek and Roman mythologies have always shared many similarities. The Roman goddess Cybele is the equivalent of the Greek goddess Rhea. Gods associated with the goddess Rhea. In Greek mythology, there were many deities or gods because the Greeks considered themselves polytheists. That is, they believed in many gods and in many goddesses. During the reign of the Greek Empire, polytheism prevailed in social classes within the empire because their gods made by human hands were very important to them. The Greeks believed in different gods because it was part of their Greek culture. They were polytheists. They believed in multiple gods. However, these are the gods that were associated with the goddess Rhea. Kronos, Rhea's brother and husband, father of Hades, Poseidon, and Zeus. He devoured his own children. This pagan god is associated with the Roman god Saturn, other names for Satan. Zeus. In Greek mythology, he is the father of the gods and men, son of Rhea and Kronos. Hera's husband and brother, also the brother of Hades and Poseidon. In Roman mythology, he was Jupiter, other names for Satan. Poseidon. In Greek mythology, he is the god of the seas and earthquakes, son of Rhea and Kronos, brother of Hades and Zeus. In Roman mythology, he was the god Neptune, other names for Satan. Hades. In Greek mythology, he is the god of the underworld, another name for hell, son of Rhea and Kronos, brother of Demeter, Hestia, Hera, Zeus, and Poseidon. In Roman mythology, he was Pluto, other names for Satan. The goddess Cybele. The Roman Empire always celebrated Mother's Day in the form of a festival dedicated to Cybele, a Roman goddess. The ceremonies in her honor began centuries before Jesus Christ dwelled on earth. The Romans named the celebration Hilaria after adopting it from the Greeks.
What's up, Pat?
What's up, man?
How you feeling, man?
Not too bad. Kind of feeling, I guess, like you a little bit tired.
Yeah.
You know, I did get to see this thing today.
Oh, you did? I didn't expect
Yeah.
none of y'all to check it out, but it's
No,
only
you
10
sent-
minutes.
If you send something, most likely I'm gonna watch it.
All right, I appreciate that. I really do. What'd you think
But-
about it? How did it hit you? One of the things that hit me about this, I was gonna wait and talk about it, but he comes from this, like, okay, he's clearly a Christian, but he kept saying these Catholic stuff is demonic. Basically, he was saying Catholicism is worshiping the devil. It kind of sounded like what he was saying to me, but then it's like he's clearly a Christian, so he's separating himself from Catholicism. I thought that was weird.
Well, it was kind of weird to me because, like, I mean, I've never heard paganism explained this way. It's, I don't know, you know, I've always heard it as, you know, having, you know, it was, you know, yeah, it was multiple gods, but it was more like of nature, like the, you know, god of water, god of sun, the gun, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But then it's, I don't know, the way they explained it here, and that's why I was like, I mean, is this like a real description of what this was, or is this somebody's idea? Like, I mean, I don't know. Cause like that's something like I've never been able to find any real information on paganism. And is this a Roman version, or is it?
I think this guy is pretty right. He's overall right about the popular perceptions of these things. Like, you know what I'm saying? What people think, how people think of it. You know what I'm saying? And he's explaining it. You know what I'm saying? And that's all true. The part about like how what the paganism, like, I don't understand why, you know, they get lost in that. Like the way he's explaining it is like the paganism is worshiping the devil, but then he's coming from this place of being a Christian. And so he understands all of these Catholic connections to paganisms, but he's not seeing it in Christianity. That makes me go,
Well, I guess it depends on what Christianity he's looking at, because I mean the Ethiopian Christianity, the origin of Christianity, is probably is a lot different from the Christianity that came in the you know, the 4th century. You know what I'm saying? The 325 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That came through, what's his name? Constantine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a different version because that's when they mixed paganism and Christianity together. It wasn't just Christianity. This was
Exactly. So, but that's what he's kind of explaining. He's going to talk about that in his video.
Yeah, okay. Cause I mean, I was lost because I mean, it looked like they was kind of putting it side by side, and to me, it was never heard it explained that way. But I mean, for this video's sake, I mean, let's
Yeah, let's play it, and then we're gonna stop it and pick at it.
all right.
It was celebrated during the March equinox in Cibele's temple for 3 days. Plaza de Cibeles in Madrid, Spain is a monument dedicated to the Roman goddess Cibele. The Spanish adopted it from the Romans, and they still hold celebrations in her honor. The Queen of Heaven. Jeremiah chapter 7 verse 18 says, "The children gather wood, the fathers kindle fire, and the women knead dough to make cakes for the Queen of Heaven, and they pour out drink offerings to other gods, to provoke me to anger." The Roman Catholic Church adopted all of these pagan celebrations to honor their own Virgin Mary, which they regard as the Queen of Heaven. On December 8, 1854, the dogma of Immaculate Conception to honor the Virgin Mary was proclaimed by Pope Pius IX. It's also the date that the Roman Catholic Church adopted for the celebration of what they regard as the definitive truth that Mary was born free of original sin. The Romans adopted multitudes of religious and pagan customs from the Greeks, Babylonians, and other civilizations. Even after Christianity arrived in Rome, they mixed it in with paganism. Semiramis, the goddess of 1,000 names.
Wait, see, that's what I'm saying. That's where I'm getting lost, because as you watch this video, like right now, you can't really tell, but as it goes on, he's gonna keep on making all these
it seemed like everybody was Satan from what I was looking at. Like
yeah, and then what's crazy is like the whole idea of the Immaculate Conception. That's a basis of Christianity. So if you call yourself a Christian, how can you say this is devil worshiping, but you are still a Christian?
Mother's Day is a pagan and satanic celebration that worships the goddesses Rhea, Cybele, and Virgin Mary, which are representations of Semiramis, who together with Nimrod created the Babylonian religious mystery, which is promoted today shamelessly by the religious institution known as Roman Catholic Church, which also promotes other pagan holidays. Semiramis is known by many different names in all of the world's religions. This is why many cultures call her Goddess of 1,000 names. The Mother's Day holiday is known as Mother's Day in reference to goddess Rhea of Greek mythology, who is another representation of the Babylonian goddess Semiramis. To celebrate it unknowingly or knowingly is to commit transgression against the word of God that wisely warns us in Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." This is a celebration directed exclusively to honor Semiramis, the mother goddess of all goddesses, who today is also known as the Virgin Mary.
And now I get confused every time when they use that scripture, no God before me. But it's like the Christians, they have idols all over the place. They got Jesus over here. They got, they got the cross. They're like, so it's like, and then they explain it as like, okay, well, it's the Holy Trilogy. So, you know what I'm saying? Worshiping Jesus is just like worshiping God or whatever. And then I'm like, okay, well, so Jesus is God? Is Jesus God or not God? You know what I'm saying? I'm confused. Can you help me with that? And it's like, so that's not right already off top. That's what I mean. Like, this guy is twisted mentally to be able to, like, well, right now it doesn't sound like it, but as he talks, he's gonna show how, where he stands.
Yeah,
and I'm Marie Jarvis.
I don't trust anything this dude is saying at all, because it's like,
well, this is good information. This is all good information.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It is. That's why that's why I want to play it. It's good information. He's right about what he's saying about the connections to the paganism. As far as the paganism being worshiping the devil, then that's where, he loses me. But that's what a lot of people think. You know what I'm saying? That's how a lot of people think.
Okay, but what people think doesn't mean it's right or even that it's like
it matters because so many people think this way. So to help to
add on to the idea that this is a right or righteous. Look, I don't really get it, but
I'm not saying it's righteous. I'm saying people think this way. So, that's what makes it matter. You know what I'm saying? And you have to help them to understand it better because they're actually going down the right road thinking that way. You know what I'm saying? He's on the premise.
The mother of Mother's Day. The modern history of Mother's Day. The Mother's Day holiday was created by Anna Marie Jarvis with help from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania merchant John Wanamaker after her mother's death, Anna Reeves Jarvis, on May 9, 1905. On May 12, 1907, Anna Marie Jarvis commemorated and organized a Mother's Day in honor of her deceased mother. Finally, in 1914, President Woodrow Wilson declared the second Sunday of May Mother's Day in the United States. Later, it expanded to other countries that adopted it. Mother's Day is celebrated around the world at different times of the year, depending on the country. Its contemporary origin is attributed to Mother's Friendship Day and to Mother's Day meetings organized by Anna Marie Jarvis, when the mothers always met to exchange opinions on different current issues. Anna was born on May 1, 1864 in Webster, West Virginia, and died on November 24, 1948 in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Although Julia Ward Howe had written her famous Mother's Day Proclamation, Anna Marie Jarvis is recognized as the founder of this pagan holiday and is the mother of Mother's Day. Is Mother's Day a pagan celebration? Did you know that most of the holidays were introduced into the world through the Roman Catholic Church? This satanic institution uses the names of Jesus Christ and Mary to promote its lies. The Bible says in James chapter 4, verse 4, "You adulterous people, do you not know that friendship with the world is enmity with God? Therefore, whoever wishes to be a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of God." Jesus Christ teaches us in Matthew chapter 15, verse 9, "But in vain do they worship me, teaching as their doctrines the precepts of men." The Lord is very clear in his teachings. There are no excuses for people who choose lies. According to many archaeological investigations and the research of many historians, Mother's Day is originally of pagan origin, belonging entirely to ancient civilizations that dedicated their festivals, offerings, and sacrifices to their gods. Primarily, it was dedicated to an ancient goddess, Semiramis, from whom the other goddesses originate. It is a deceptive celebration that contains dark and unknown mysteries. The mother is to be honored every day and not on a specific date in order to give her gifts.
That's a very good point right there. So, but what do you think about it? What do you think about it as far as his point of it being a pagan holiday and it's like draining your energy because you're worshiping false gods? Do you think it's okay to celebrate Mother's Day, or do you think it's a bad thing to celebrate Mother's Day? You know, as a ritual every year. Give your mom a gift, maybe take her to dinner or something like that. I'm not getting you. If you're broken up, I'm a...
Hello?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
All right. Now, when you get into the whole backstory of what Mother's Day is supposed to be about, yeah, I mean, if you get into it for all of that, yep, I think it's bullshit. I mean, you know, but I mean, as far as like going back to Samarasis and all that, because I mean, the main thing is you have a mother. You know, you have your mom, you know, your mother, your grandmother, Mother Earth. If
Yeah.
you looking at it from that perspective, yeah. I mean, those are things that's, you know, directly to you. But everything else, I think, is just kind of.
I think we do get lost in the ritual of it. So I think he has a point there. Because, like I said, that's the reason why I stopped it right here. He said the mother is to be honored every day and not on a specific day in order to give her gifts.
Yeah.
Like you can call mom any day of the week, of the year, or whatever, and say thank you, or maybe even buy her a gift or whatever the hell.
Yeah, or just one of those phone calls is just like, I love you.
Yeah,
I appreciate, what I'm saying, like just showing appreciation that pretty much every chance you get.
right.
So I mean, but
And and I think that should be irregardless. There goes that
please don't
word.
use that word. Please don't.
That should be irregardless of
Oh
the
my
relationship
God.
that you have with your mom.
Why does like the, I hope
Yeah,
that was a joke, but
I was joking with the word, but go ahead.
yeah, because that
I, I
shit drives me nuts.
I hate that word too. It's so dumb. Scratch that shit right out the fucking thing. Anyways, yeah. So regardless of your relationship that you have with your mom, you should do that, right? Like I say, give thanks. At the very least, you know, and you don't have to do that on these prescribed dates. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that's that zombie robot thing. And then I read a book. It was called Consuming a Year, and it was talking about how we roll right out of one holiday into another, and it's just kind of a way to eat up the clock or eat up the calendar. Just keep you busy. You're just waiting for the next holiday to come,
Yeah, I
next
mean, because
vacation, next weekend.
when you think about it, your mom could have been like, okay, look, I ain't giving a shit about you until your birthday again. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I ain't buying you nothing
As,
till your
hey,
birthday come
look,
back around.
you know what I'm saying? Like cake, food. You want to eat?
and and
Oh,
and it could be moms that's out there like that. So that's why you have to be thankful for your mom at the very least. Like I say, at the very least of just giving you your life. You know what I mean? And the randomness of the universe, of the chances of you even coming here at all. You know.
yeah.
So I wanted to ask you something though. Oh yeah, like the matrilineal. That's what I wanted to talk about too. Like, um, giving respect to like the matral line, the matrilineal line, or the matriarch, or the matriarchy, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
No, I definitely think that. I mean, the women of our lives are, I mean, deserve a certain level of respect just because you know they give us life. You know what I'm saying? From any aspect that you look at it from. Because like I said, when you look at Mother Earth, like if it wasn't for Mother Earth, we wouldn't have a place to be. If there wasn't the whole design for us to come through the woman's womb. The nurturing that we receive as we grow and shoot even after we're grown. You know what I'm saying? Like I do believe that the matriarchy definitely deserves high level of respect.
And I think we need to be reminded of it, and kind of go back to it. And well, no, we don't have to go back to it. We just need to realize that that's what it is, and it's not something else that they're telling us it is.
Well, I mean, you gotta. I mean, for anyone who really subscribes to um, our current state of affairs, is lost. So I mean, we can't really worry about them because I mean, we can try to reach out and teach them, which I'm sure we've done. Like many people have tried to express certain values, different values from what you're learning in this society. This through the main dominant society. Currently, but that because I mean I even think that like to a certain extent they do give that certain level of power to women, but the reasons why happen to be, you know, off.
Yep.
Because like
And then they want to control that too.
yeah, I mean, because I mean, just as a little glimpse, I mean, they don't allow their women, if we talk about white women, to just go off willy nilly. Maybe it's a little bit like in these days, I guess you could say, but specifically trying to, exploit the the whole black dynamic, giving them powers, and definitely trying to take away ours.
Well, I think the Immaculate Conception is a part of it because, like, it's like she's pure, she was the virgin. And it's like they're like that with the women. It's like, okay, she's special as long as she's a virgin. As soon as she's not a virgin no more, she's like the devil. You know what I'm saying? She's Eve, and she's, temptation.
And I think it really depends on, whose description you're listening to, because I don't think that's the original idea of that whole. Because I mean, that dynamic has existed for thousands of years. I mean, even if you go back to the god Ra, Amun Ra, like there was still talking about Isis. I mean, she was revered. Like she's still revered. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it really depends on whose description of it you're really listening to.
Yeah, but when you talk about ISIS, a lot of people would consider that pagan type stuff. That's pre-Christian.
I don't care. I mean, you have Christianity because of ISIS, because of those time periods. I mean, that was not the first, book of life that existed. The Bible was not the first book of, life. That was just through a different era and period.
But everything before Jesus is pagan. Everything before Jesus is the devil.
Well, I mean, based on what this dude is saying in this video, I mean, shit, Jesus is the devil. Like I don't get. I mean,
he didn't say that. This dude is a Christian, but it does, that is like, if you conclude what he's saying, it does kind of sound like that, because because he kept going back to the Catholics, and it's like, oh, it's the Catholics. They kept putting this pagan stuff in here. but no, he doesn't reach that far though. He's a Christian. Let me play some more.
Exodus chapter 20 verse 12 says, "Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long in the land which Jehovah thy God giveth thee." The word of God exhorts us to honor father and mother every day and not on a specific date. God demands that we honor them with respect and love every day of our lives while on earth. Mother's Day is a satanic festival created by ancient peoples to worship a goddess. It is a very ancient form of worship.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and then the thing about this too, because I mean, you got to realize that, all right, I mean, just with this idea of a goddess, female goddess, and then male would be God. So I mean, we're talking about people who walk the earth, for them that they're saying who gods and goddesses were. So
Right.
this doesn't have, if you're listing what we consider today as humans as a god these days, that's sacrilege. That's totally like
That's the
unheard of.
devil. That's devil. That's the paganism devil before Jesus stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, if you really pay attention to like even like in the Bible, because I mean, a lot of people think that like, because I mean, maybe it was, some of these people's names would be considered to be black or whatever. I think the Bible was written for white people, and it's my I'm racist for saying this, but like the serpent that was in the garden would have been probably a black person, someone who had certain mythological strengths and powers and magic, what people might consider one of the Nagas. of the past, which would have been like a serpent king or black king, but that was somebody who had a high level of knowledge. And they, Adam and Eve in the garden, you know, like a lot of it is not literal. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of it is based on
So
these different.
that black snake moan, that evil, that's where they come from then, huh?
Well, possibly. I mean, look, a lot of the stuff, I don't think that, a lot of us don't really understand what's really going on with this Bible because it's got so many different dynamics and different ways that you can read it. Because, I mean, there's people of esoterics that look at it mainly as a science book. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it really determines on how you're perceiving, how this book has been taught to you. But I don't look. Who am I to really even say? But I mean, just based on different things that I've learned, I've studied, it looks that way. That the serpent, like the God that Adam and Eve, was fearful of, was not some just invisible God speaking from the sky. It was a man who was like coming back to, who had probably was the reason for them being in that garden. And, he come back to check on them because he's telling them how to, live, which, a bunch of us did, like, over time. Like that's something that those people, some people call them Moors, whatever they call them in that time period, went across the world to teach different people the sciences, the math, like all the different things about Earth that they had already known that was new to other people that was new to the Earth. So I mean, I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there that would probably, I probably should send you some videos that maybe where you can kind of see from the angle in which I'm telling you. But I mean, either way, it's everybody's responsibility to kind of
look that shit up. Let me play some more of this.
Over the centuries, many different goddesses have emerged from all these ancient peoples, but they are all the same goddess with many different names, and Mother's Day is associated with each of them. Centuries later, the Roman Catholic Church created the Virgin Mary myth. In Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 7, Jehovah teaches, "You shall have no other gods before me." Celebrating Mother's Day is a great abomination against him.
He said the Virgin Mary was a myth, so that's what I got.
That's why, bro. That's why I'm like, can you trust anything this dude said? Because he's so confused. He like, I mean, and maybe he's trying to go back because he's not clearly saying what he believes or what what I'm saying. He's saying different things, and it's just no real. I don't know. Like, I mean, it's somewhat confusing the way he's saying it because
if it's a myth, then Jesus is a myth too. Because Jesus was born from her, from the Immaculate Conception and all that.
Well, I mean, I would say to some extent because I mean, if you really look at how the Bible was created, they used things that came before it to restructure their own religion. So it came from like the Amun-Ra's, the book of Amun, shall I say, which talked about the god Ra, and Isis. The Trinity was the Father, the Mother, and so because it was Ra, Isis, shoot, okay. I can't think.
Imhotep or something like that.
No. That's way later. This is I'm talking about the person at that time who was Jesus.
It's like
Heru.
Israel broken down.
Heru. Is it Heru?
Israel.
Israel.
Well, Israel comes from a whole actually that is Isis, Ra, and
Ra.
Elohim put into one word.
Have you when you break it down and you put it down in their language, it looks like a body. And then there's different things that come into context, which is like the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life, and they all they all connect in a certain way. It just depends on do you study enough, or you know what I mean? Everything is people want things tangible, but there is a spiritual world. So yeah, we're trying to connect the dots and put these things together. But how spiritual and how educated are you about these subjects?
Well, I mean, I guess my route of doing this is I live day to day. In my spirit, with within a physical world. So I mean, as far as I've never been the type of person that really cared about memorizing verses, or and sometimes I forget names and this, that, and the other, because I mean, I don't think none of that stuff matters. It's just that the main lesson that I've been taught is to try to live righteously, or try to make good decisions as I go through my own life. That's what the whole idea of being able to learn from a book of life, or through because I mean, I could learn to say, like, there's so many different things that's in these books that you can take in ways that may not be beneficial to you. So I mean, there's principles that I think that people should learn more so than verses, names. Like, I mean, because there's nobody I know that who I deal with day to day whose name is in the Bible.
Right. So you have like the Mayat, and then the Mayat went to 7 deadly sins, and then the 10 commandments, and there's a lot of names. No, I cannot call those names. Yeah, I can. And Kemet means science, black science.
No, Kemet just means dark soil.
Dark soil. Okay.
Land of the dark soil, or something like that. Pretty much Kim is pretty much what it was. Just because some people thought it said it was about the dark people in that land, but I think it was really land of dark soil. But I mean, I think it kind of plays into like a double or a multiple entendre of what that meant. It wasn't just a singular idea, but either way, I mean, pretty much, because I mean, if you look at the world during the times in which they were speaking, I mean, the majority of people were dark people. So I don't think that was, whether you was from America to Asia, there was majority just dark people. I mean, the first person that they seem to have been shown to have light skin, or pale or whatever, was Noah, or Esau, because he had ruddy skin, or whatever you say. Is he still there?
I'm here. Can you talk about me?
No, I was. It's Elliot. He had gotten quiet, but no. Yeah, I mean, I think overall, I mean, I think we put a lot into these religions, these books. I mean, I think that we should learn from them and apply it in our lives, the principles. Like, I mean, because I can't just, quote these different stories. My energy went more into actually doing good things in my own life instead of trying to be able to show somebody that, oh yeah, I know this and I know that and whatever, blah blah blah. I mean, like I do take pride in certain things, but those are things because I probably forgotten more things than because I don't see that as being as important
Yeah,
to me
but
right now.
I think that everybody should have the opportunity to know um, different information and the things that you study or was prevalent, like the Torah, the Bible, the Quran, Judaism, all these different things. Um, but reminding them of the definitive difference between right and wrong.
Yeah, and
And, you
that's
know,
through certain
because
principles.
a person might not have a father in their life. They might have lost both their parents, or they're living with their grandmother, or it
Yeah,
doesn't really matter. We're just saying, hey, this is the movement moving forward, and we all have things are destined. I don't believe in
well,
like things are. You can change reality based on how you think, how you move, how you act, and
yeah,
the secret to manifestation. Information plus application equals manifestation, but you have to act. You can think about it all day, but if you
yeah,
don't act, nothing's gonna change.
exactly. And that's the way I'm telling you that
And
I'm
people,
living my life is that I don't, like I said, I mean, I think that everybody has to go through their period of learning and understanding. The because I mean, I think as a child, you know, you learn certain principles that's going to take you to the next step, into your teenage years, and then from there into your adulthood. I'm not one of those who believe that, churches or religion is something that you should have to piggyback. I mean, I guess you could say you could somewhat, if depending on how you're looking at the piggybacking, because it's going to be lessons that you've learned in your early years that you'll carry throughout your life. But as far as having to, stay, unless you just always having some trouble with doing the right things, yeah, I mean, maybe you need to continue to study. But uh, if you're living a righteous life and you're doing certain things, you probably have learned those lessons already. And it's not necessary unless you're going to teach others how to, like these different lessons. I don't really intend on starting a church or anything like that. I mostly focus on, maybe I'm selfish, but I do try to, pass on different lessons to those who come into my circle. But, you know,
The rest of
yeah,
it.
and you're doing much more than that because you're speaking on the show so other people can hear you. Your
Yeah.
voice is out there, and your opinions and um, they all damn it's well it gets really complicated. But the thing is that you're expressing it, and it's up to somebody else to decipher that information. You're not
okay.
speaking anything wrong. You're not like, oh well, go shoot this person, rob this person. Um, how do I scheme? What's the scam? No, you're genuine, and somebody could kind of slow things down and be like, oh, well, I've been through this before, or I haven't. Regardless, um, if you put your hand on a hot stove that you're gonna get burned. So it's
Yeah.
you don't have to go through certain things based off other people's experience because it's already happened. That's the past. We're
Yeah.
talking, the future is what we want to have control over. And a lot of people don't have that projection or ideology or vision, and that's okay. Being stuck in the moment will leave you stagnant and not humble.
Let me play some more of the video and then we're going to talk about it.
because worship is rendered unto demons, and the mother becomes an object of idolatry. The Bible teaches us in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 21, ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of demons. Ye cannot partake of the table of the Lord and the table of demons. Jesus Christ says in Matthew chapter 15, verse 8, this people honors me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Romans chapter 1, verse 25 says, for that they exchanged the truth of God for a lie, and worshipped and served the creature rather than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. Celebrating Mother's Day is an abomination to Jehovah God, because the mother is to be honored every day of our lives while she is present with us, and not on a specific date. Christians should not celebrate pagan holidays. Do not celebrate Mother's Day, because it is a pagan and satanic holiday. Thus says Jehovah God. Amen. Dear friend, I invite you to receive Jesus Christ as your only Savior. He says in Revelation chapter 3, verse 20, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and eat with him, and he with me. Acts chapter 16, verse 31 says, believe in the Lord Jesus, and you will be saved, you and your household. Accept Jesus Christ today. Pause the video on the next page and say the prayer audibly.
Okay.
So let me ask this. Now, because there's people, because I mean, if I choose to honor my mother on what everybody else is calling Mother's Day, and I purely in my heart is just taking this time to appreciate my mother and, you know, give her a gift and, you know, cook her dinner or buy her dinner, am I, you know, being satanic?
Apparently, according to this guy.
Well, I mean, he's expressing his ideals, and there's a lot of points that I agree and disagree with. What I don't like is being put in a box, because how you get out of the box is you have to circle the square. So you have to cut off the edges, do some what is it called, shadow work, and then taking in consideration what is pagan or what is this or what is that satanic and this and that. It's not up to you, because truth has no explanation. The truth is the truth.
Right. So the truth is the truth, regardless of what if you're a Christian or not, or if you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior or not. The truth is still the truth. So but I think that what you're saying is right, though, about circling the square and doing the shadow work, because that is the yin and the yang, and the dark inside the light. So then that's when you start going down that road, then you realize that there's no such thing as good and evil. You know what I'm saying? There just is. There just is. And that's it. So that's what you have to accept and realize, and then that's when you become wise, you know, and then you're going to move out of the box that you're talking about, which is the religion that, you know, people tend to be stuck in. So, and you take the principles from those religions and use them in your life. And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's true. And then it comes down to like critical thinking and thinking for yourself. Is grammar? Oh, the 7 liberal arts: grammar, logic, rhetoric. And that's who, what, where, when, and why. They taught us this in school, but usually when you go to school, it's more or less what to think. You know, it doesn't really determine your actual intelligence.
Well,
and it takes a long time for some people to realize that.
Well, I get that, and for some people, they are, what's the word? They're dependent on the type of systems that has been built to, give them the roadmaps, the guidance in which they live, and they think that they need these things every week. Where, because people go to church every week. I mean, that's cool. I mean, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but that becomes some kind of a ritual where you're going to like I said, I don't think rituals are bad, but at the same time, I mean, it just really depends on how your dependency. Like, is if you feel like this is something you have to do because of what your
It's
neighbors
about the
think, and
intention, the thought.
y-
Do you have
y-
control? Are you
y-
being puppeted? Because if you've
yes,
become a puppet, then you don't have your own autonomy, and you could be doing the bidding of whoever the hell you're doing the bidding of because you're a puppet now.
Most people aren't thinking on one accord. And so if you come into a congregation like that, that's the reason why the world is the way it is today, is because the powers that shouldn't be get shit done. They,
I mean,
if
people
you're
get people that's outside of that system are, let's just say walk the fine line between in and out of that system. Like, I mean, just because you know, like people are getting things done all over the place. There's a perceived view of the world that people see, but in most cases, they already know that people are gonna do their own thing, period, and they'll just take credit for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't know. Like, I think that we give too much credit to these people who happen to be in power, because a lot of it is, blocking people from being able. They're the biggest thing that they concentrate on is blocking you from being the autonomous figure, th- having the inalienable rights that you have, you were born with.
Excuse me.
Like,
well, I, firsthand experience, people are when you're in survival mode, you have no time to deal with spirituality and get to your higher self. All you're concerned about is, where's my next dollar coming from? What am I going to eat the next day? Do my kids have, you know, um, clothes on their back? You
but
can't think
what,
about you can't think about a utopian or a higher perspective. You're
but are we
stuck in
talking
that
about
mode.
faithless people? Are we talking about faithless people? Because that's where I draw the line. I mean, people who overly concern themselves about, what's going to happen tomorrow. What am I going to be able to do this? Am I going? I mean, if that leads back to your believing or knowing, and a believer is not, to me, not the strength of spirituality.
Believing is
When
believing
no,
is like gambling.
yeah, knowing is where you know where everything is at. Like, as far as you know you don't really concern yourself, because if you know that God is a provider, the universe is a provider, whatever direction, however you look at that entity, is a provider, that you don't stress yourself so much about what you're gonna get, because he's always has provided, or she has always provided. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think that that pessimistic mindset is something that is taught to the masses, so that yeah, they can have more control over you, because they think that if that paycheck doesn't come on Friday, then you're up shit creek. You're gonna be worrying and wondering and everything, that's far from God, than just like just living.
Yeah, and I'll leave it at this. I know the brother wants to continue, but there's the sacred feminine, and it's being really suppressed. It's been people go to war over the situation. If it wasn't for women, we
All that's
wouldn't
changing.
exist. We wouldn't exist. Yeah, the man has a part to play, which is the 50-50 perspective, yin and yang, and this and that. But she birthed a woman. I mean, excuse me, she birthed a baby. We can't do that. It's Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. There has to be a connection
Did
in
y'all
order for that to spark.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but did you guys see the because I totally missed the eclipse supposed to be
On
passing.
Sunday,
Yeah.
yep, I missed somebody. Somebody texted me, and I'm like, nope, I missed it. I wanted to see it so bad because you can stargaze, or if
Well,
that's
well,
the
I
right
was
terminology.
told by I mean, and I don't know if the source was 1,000% reliable, but actually watching the actual damn, I just said the damn word. Um,
The
Eclipse.
eclipse.
the eclipse. Watching the eclipse was not a good idea. There's a lot of energy that was crossed over with that eclipse. It was a portal that was open that allowed a certain energy into the our atmosphere, into this world, this dimension, which is going to expand a lot of things that we've been hoping for and praying for, because it's just time. So those who are prepared to take on those energies will receive downloads, and those who are not quite so ready will will expand some, but may not have the totality of what the energy is bringing. So but
Right.
it
I don't
might.
know what age. Well, they say we're in the age of Aquarius. It's not based on belief. We go off the zodiac calendar, which is from 2,000 years ago. I got deep into it, and um, I'm not even sure like we're on the right day or time or whatever. It's yeah, okay. There's 24 hours in a day. There's 60 minutes and 7 days a week and 360 days a year. You know, but are we on the right calendar and
Well,
time?
see, that's the part that, because I mean, a year still kind of turns out to be a year. I mean, between that 360 days and 365, I mean, whether it's
Is
12
it?
months or
Hey,
13 months, I mean,
isn't the universe amazing though that I could break it down in those calculations and that we can because when I started studying occultism, I was like, well, there's 8 hours in a day I gotta go to work. There's 8 hours. Really, it should be God first, yourself, family, and then work. But no, they put work first. You gotta get that bread, and it's I that's when I kind of started questioning things mathematically, as far as like percentages and what my check is being, who am I paying,
well,
and
I mean,
after
look
that,
at it from
then it
well,
goes completely spiritual.
well, look at it from this angle. A day is really 12 hours.
Yes, sir.
They
And
tell you
wait,
20.
I want to jump in on that because they like to have you at work before the sun rises too, you know. So like boom, we want you at work at 6 a.m. or whatever it is, 5 a.m., whatever it is. That's before the sunrise too. You know, that's a thing because we supposed to get up with the sun.
Yeah, I mean, in order to truly have the balance in our lives, totality, our circadian rhythm is, in conjunction with the sun, the the moon, all of the planets, um, and of course, like I guess you could say the stars, but the stars are just more distant planets as far as
Yeah, but I think we're supposed to get up and, pretty much watch the sunrise, at least for a little while, a few moments. It's a prayer. Like a lot of religions do that, that morning prayer, you know, right when the
but
sunrise.
yeah, but I mean, but there was a system put in place that we followed for a long time. This is it. I don't think this thing just began with United States. You know, this is something that has carried on for millennia. You know what I'm saying? So we this is something that they've utilized, and I think more so it's changed into, you know, developed into it more so lately, because I mean, even when we were at our, you know, I'm jokingly saying it, but at our most savage state, we, you know, had, you know, we appreciated Earth and sun, the moon, the planets, like we had all the appreciations for it. And honestly, probably, like I said, I always feel like we were smarter people or gods. You know, we were actually gods during that time because of our knowledge. You know, but like now we're really at a more of a human state, or more like people, because we're not as smart as our ancestors. So
I have a story. Let me see if I can pull this up right quick. What happened? I lost somebody?
no, I'm here.
Elliot, it says device not connected.
Oh,
Maybe your battery is low. Let me see. Can I go through this? All right. Yeah, this is interesting stuff right here. Let's see. Look at this. Can y'all see that? All right. It says man arrested for secretly recording his co-workers in the bathroom to share on OnlyFans. Let me say that again because I chopped it up. Oh, wait. Elliot is there. It says man arrested for secretly recording his co-workers in the bathroom to share on OnlyFans.
okay. So what kind of thing was he like? What kind of material was he sharing?
Just them going to the restroom. But look what the kicker is. Hidden camera placed in men's bathroom.
Police say an employee noticed a hidden camera and called the authorities Monday morning. NBC 15's James Gordon joins us now with details. James?
You know, this news is disturbing, but police say that it did not happen in a public bathroom. Police say the suspect, 28-year-old Gregory Turner, used this pen camera. That's right, a pen with a tiny camera to capture video of his fellow employees in the men's bathroom.
Especially in this situation, you obviously, one of the most private places in the world should be the bathroom. So everyone should expect to have privacy in a bathroom.
Police say they downloaded 4 video clips, all taken of the pen camera inside the bathroom.
We did see some other devices from the suspect that were in his vehicle. There was a hard drive and a laptop in it.
Police have arrested a Mobile man for secretly recording people in a bathroom.
I was just about to say that's something look like Alabama. Said Daphne County.
So we're in the process of examining those to make sure there's not any more illegal content.
Police say Turner told police he planned to sell video clips and make money on the OnlyFans website. They don't believe they were ever broadcast or uploaded to the website.
His statement consisted of he placed the camera in there to video himself using the bathroom in order to give him content for his online account. That obviously doesn't add up because we had 4 other co-workers.
Dauphin police have arrested a mobile man for secretly recording people in men's bathroom. It happened at a local small business. Police say an employee noticed a hidden camera and called the authorities. The news is disturbing, but police say it was not a public bathroom. Police say the suspect, 28-year-old Gregory Turner. Why do they keep saying not a public bathroom? What does that matter? Used a pen camera and a pen with a built-in tiny camera to capture video of his fellow employees in the men's bathroom.
It's a legal term, you know, determining the difference between public and private. So
yeah, so they got to make that distinction.
Yes.
So I had to cover this because I think it's funny because the dude was the men's look. The first comment says, "Wait, the men's room?
That's what throws me off, bro. Like, it kind of like the story just made sense off the top.
Arrested him.
But then when they said the men's restroom, like, wait. Wait, bro. Hold on, bro.
Yeah, that's some weirdo shit, bro.
Gregory Turner is charged with 4 felony counts of aggravated criminal surveillance.
I mean, I can't say it'd be any better if he had done it to a female's bathroom, but I think it'd be more understood that a guy would want to, know what's going on in the female's bathroom. I mean, every guy knows what happens in the damn men's bathroom. I mean,
somebody's buying this content. I don't know, bro.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. That's some weirdo shit, bro. Like, I mean,
let me see, bro. The comments. Let me see. The one said, wait, the men's room, and then it says, bro, what? Another one says, bro, I thought at least did women's, but men's. That's crazy as fuck. So wait, he was recording men? Dude out here surveilling PPs. Yeah. Out here straight hustling, somebody said. Trying to go fed for the OnlyFans, sick about it. It says, that's why Black China wasn't trying to use Adam's restroom. Beast gotta watch out when he taking this shit around Adam.
Okay, I don't know what the hell that meant, but
it said big market for videos of dudes taking this shit. This dude says weird hustle. Somebody says vid ? They want to see it. Oh man.
Yeah. That's bad. Say, bro, that's horrible, bro.
Look, somebody says new fear unlocked. Somebody says pause. That's what I wanted to say earlier.
Pause, yeah.
Pause, granddad.
I mean, it ain't nothing like what's going on down in Orlando, but shit, this is still some wild shit.
I just found it funny. It was hilarious to me. I'm sorry, y'all. That's all I really have. I wanted to cover that and this.
Did you see the videos I sent you? I didn't want, I sent it to you. If you want to add it in, you can. But if not, it's up to you. What I'm saying? I'll leave it to you to decide if you want to add it in or something. But that shit killed me about was all those employees of Disney. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I saw that. Let me see. Let me go to your thing. The last one you seen was Biden's secret secretary tries to lie. Rand Paul gets caught instantly. Then before that, this didn't age well. Joe Biden claims gets debunked less than 24 hours after a statement. And then it's got what they discovered in Disney shocked the whole world. That one?
Yeah.
Let me see. We could play some of it. It's 25 minutes. Does he get right into it at the beginning?
Yeah, because I mean it's really like a commentary. Well, not really even commentary. It's not a whole lot of commentary, but it's more of a reaction video of what the cops were saying. So I mean, most of it is what the cops telling you they did on this these covert little missions or whatever, and really was they had a TV show just like what they were doing. I forget his name, but for the sex offenders that were trying to solicit sex from either young kids or just you can play a little bit of it. You don't have to play all of it.
All right.
How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute, man. Now listen, bro. Y'all was really, really trying to ruin this for me, man. Fam, I get it. Y'all was trying to tell me about it, and y'all was trying to create a sense of urgency to get me to get to it. Like dropping a little information about the video. Yo, don't tell me about it. I got y'all. So, you know what I mean? This here is beyond crazy now. You got Disney employees, the retired judge among arrested in an investigation focusing on human trafficking. Huh? Like, how do we get here? But who better who better than to bring it to you than the one and only Grady Judd? And that's all I need to say. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, join the fam, prepare yourself. Here we go.
It's unbelievable the victims we get with our human trafficking operations. And we identified one this time that I'll talk about without her name. Many times it takes follow-up investigation by this wonderful team of counselors in order to get there. But let's start with Mr. Finley. Mr. Finley is not involved in this from a human trafficking / prostitution operation, but we hit a grand slam in that we also found child sex predators. And he's the first child sex predator that we identified. He's 39 years of age. He's a handyman. He's from Mulberry.
Let that sink in. And the reason why I say let that sink in is because it's possible that you could have hired this person to come in your house and work on things and be amongst your children and not even know. I say that to keep that in the back of your mind when you're allowing people in your house to come work on your house and you let your guard down and your kids are running around playing and what the people you let in your house, the intentions could be.
And he traveled to our undercover location thinking he was going to engage a very young child for sex. Newsflash, it wasn't a very young child. It was a group of detectives. He's been charged as a result for traveling, for resisting arrest. That's right. He ran from us. He didn't want to go to jail. He had meth. He was also charged with attempted lewd battery and transmission of some very ugly stuff that he thought was going to a 13-year-old child. So it would have been a grand slam week for all of our resources and efforts if we'd have just gotten Timothy Finley, who thought he was traveling to meet a child. It's pretty nervy if you think about it. He was showing up at the child's residence when he thought mom and dad weren't there. But he wasn't alone. Then there's Shannon Johnson. He's 41. He's from Orlando. You know, it's interesting. The Orlando stations aren't here today. They should be, because they got a lot of these problems over in Orlando, and the community over there needs to be made aware of it. He thought he was communicating with a 13-year-old child. He wanted to be her daddy. He wanted to have different kinds of sex with what he thought was a 13-year-old child. He works at a warehouse. He was charged with traveling, attempted lewd battery, transmission of photos of himself, nude photos, you know what I mean? And he didn't have any children himself, but he wanted to play this game of daddy. That's right. He has a criminal history. And when we arrested him, he said, "You got me. You're right. We got him." So if we'd arrested two,
didn't try to run. Nah, he's like,
y'all want to make comments? I feel like it's just kind of horror porn. And a lot of times people just like to, focus on individuals. I think that that is controlled opposition because, they got systems for this kind of thing. And that's like the bad apple thing, like the police. Oh, we got him. We got the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Your kids are safe now.
Yeah, I think you make a great point that, because, he's mentioning the whole Orlando police, because I'm sure they was invited to come and, be a part of it, but they didn't they weren't really a part of it because maybe there's a lot of that they know that these things are going on, and especially over at Disney, that's where majority of their money come from, so that they don't really say a whole bunch. Now, even with this guy here, he may not be in the center of a lot of it, but at the same time, I mean, I think it's, something like this is necessary because a lot of people don't realize how close they are to these types of crimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people who's actually, that's their agenda. That's their plan, is to get close to your kids one way or another. And, so I mean, I think that whether you call it whatever you call it, horror porn or whatever, it's somewhat necessary because most people are so gullible or so, passive with their, what they think. Because, I'm always, on the fence, because this is, I guess, one of my bigger fears is that somebody will try to do that to,
And that's what I mean. That's what I mean by horror porn, because that's how they do. It's just like a trigger. It's like I say, it's sensationalism. They sensationalizing you. Like I say, it's horror porn. That's what gets clicks. It doesn't. But it's not really.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, there's a great bit of people, like, there's people that's trying to debunk stuff like this is even happening. Human trafficking, no, that stuff is not really happening, what you're thinking. There's nobody that's at a higher level that's doing any of these things, but a lot of these people they just so happen to work for one of the biggest corporations on the planet, where they allow where they've already kind of allowed certain things to happen so that they can get away with what they want to get away with. You know what I'm saying? They can easily point the finger at little people like who they're mentioning in this this little video.
Yeah, because the guy's a nobody, a meth head, crackhead, nobody, bro.
Yes.
That's it. Period.
But
like
you saw what I put underneath the video, right? You won't read it. Hold on.
I'll pull it up.
I can't.
I can pull it up. It don't take a second. Bop, bip, boop. Either they don't know who they are hiring, or they do know who they are hiring.
Exactly. Because I mean, it's like, okay, you would think that certain corporations are doing the, when they're hiring people for work, no matter what. I mean, shoot, there's McDonald's, a restaurant where you know what I'm saying, many places they looking at these people's background, because I mean, the more you get into this whole story, it gets into where, like, there's a woman got 61 previous charges, but she's still on the streets. She was working at, I think, the KFC or I don't know, wherever, but I mean, she's in the community doing shit. And like I said, I mean, we can see, you have to kind of look at the bigger picture as far as I'm concerned, because these are peons in the whole situation, but each one, every move on the chessboard matters.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the focus needs to be on the system that's creating these.
But that's situations. That's why you got to look through what you're actually seeing, because it does speak more volumes about the system.
Yeah. It does. It does. But it also shows how, like, they just like to feel like they, hey, like the sheriff, he's like, oh, look, I did a good job. I got this guy, I nabbed the bad guy, let me let y'all know what he did and how bad of a horrible person he was, look how good of a job I'm doing.
Well, and that's, I think that, honestly, somebody's got to do it. And I think that, because I mean, I don't know, like, I mean, I guess we could assume that he's a part of this whole scheme, and he's just catching who he wants to catch, you know, we can go down that road and say whatever, but at the same time, I think he's still at this moment doing a great service by doing this, because a lot of people are acting like it's not happening. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, Disney? No, well, not Disney. You know, not you know what I'm saying? Like it's way more prevalent than we would think. I mean, if you really think about it,
Well, it would make sense if you want to get next to kids. I mean, Disney. Let me read some comments under here. It says, "I've said this about Disney for years. Everyone keeps calling me a conspiracy theorist." But what I would say about that is like, okay, so you want to get close to kids, then you're gonna get a job like that. That's the same thing with the what is it? The goddamn the little kids, Boy Scouts. And they had to pay a whole bunch of money behind this shit. And you know, and it's like, you know, the person who's working out there with the Boy Scouts is not making much money. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. So it's like,
I mean, the reason why he's taking that job may not be. I mean, because I mean that is not. You know, if you weren't about the money doing that Boy Scout job, I mean, if you're volunteering and you know you happen to get a little money for doing it, okay, cool, cool. But you know, the money is usually not the main reason why they're taking that job.
Right. You should be just wanting to help the community. So that's what you're going to be thinking. But people like what you're saying, right. They're trying to get close to the kids. So, but what I'm saying is that's where you can't like look at it like and get lost in like the specific like Disney. Cause the child beauty pageants, the freaking the damn fucking what is it, Nickelodeon or whatever, like all of those kids that came from those shows, how many of those kids came from those shows was getting, you know,
a bunch of them speaking out within recent times of how they were you know.
So again, what I'm saying is that's another situation where you're a producer of a show or something, or you want to get close to the kids. You produce kids shows.
Yeah, I guess so, but I mean, but you know, I think it leans, you know, like I said, I mean, I'm okay with people calling me a conspiracy theorist.
It's more to it than that, of course. What I'm saying is, you know, that's it right there. I mean, you need to be looking at that Nickelodeon, all of them, because they're profiting from it, like the child beauty pageants and shit like that, like all of that shit, the child modeling type shit and fucking child TV, all of that shit, the music industry, all of that shit, because they're making money off of it. So that's the reason why they turn a blind eye. Let me read some more comments underneath this video. It says, Sheriff Grady is the best. Every town needs a sheriff like him. Another comment, it says, I now understand my parents' actions to keep me safe growing up. They were never unreasonable, but they were cautious. I thought my mom was a little overboard about judges letting predators go too easy. She said they had to be part of child abuse. Sorry, Mom, you were right. Another comment says, can you imagine the military rescuing these trafficked children rescued from the tunnels? I wouldn't want to know the horrific acts they endured and the unsanitary conditions they lived in for who knows how long. Another comment, it says, this is the perfect illustration of why none of these incidents should be kept secret, nor should people refrain from talking about it with their kids who benefits from secrecy. Not the child, nor the child's family, nor the community. Talk about it. Protect your vulnerable. That's a good comment.
I think all of them have its own, you know, value. But, bro, you know, there's only so much. Because, I mean, I think they would implicate Disney more if they actually had more proof. But that's the thing, like you can, I mean, Disney was a man, but you know, of course, as far as we know, like this is a culture that has been grown around this whole idea of Disney, the Disney World. You know what I'm saying? Which to me is the bigger play. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you can't point the finger at a guy, but you can say all these other people who are not actually Disney, but like this, when there's so many, like how many instances does something have to happen for it to just be a coincidence? Is it just coincidental that they have all of these, these pedophiles that's working there?
Let me read some more comments. It says, I love watching you walk through this. I'd seen it in the news, but I hadn't watched the whole thing. But as a recently retired law enforcement officer, I can say this is the boss we'd all love to have. I don't know how the woman on the left over his shoulder kept it together. I could tell it was a struggle, been there. As far as the Disney employees, I'm not even surprised. The judge, he has a bigger judge to answer to. They all do. There's a special place for these people.
And yeah, the judge that came all the way from Chicago, he lived in Cook County. He's a Cook County judge. Like, okay, is he retired now in Florida, or is that something well known that's happening down there that he went out there for? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's certain questions you got to ask yourself. Like, how did it lead to somebody from Chicago coming down there for this type of experience?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know anything about this particular story.
Well, no, it's within the video. Like when he talks about it. So I mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to listen to it on your own. I don't know if you want to put the link to the video or something so everybody can get a chance.
I could play some more of it. I'll play some more of it. Let me read some more comments. It says, wherever there are children, there are predators, period. That's what I was saying. And
well, yeah. I mean, but like I said, I mean, regardless how you want to look at this guy, because I mean, like I said, I don't put it past any of these people to, that they could very well be a part of it themselves, or maybe he's just looking for some pat on the back because of this, that, and the other. But at the same time, he could also be doing it out of genuine concern for the community, and making an awareness for people to stop sleeping on what's going on in their community. Look, you got to pay more attention. Stop, falling asleep at the wheel. You know what I'm saying? They right underneath your nose, and shit. When the KFC, the what you call it, Cracker Barrel, the people that's got people that's working at the Cracker Barrel that they gonna mention. It's just like people right there that has these type of ideas right underneath your nose. So I think the awareness is great, and these people getting taken off the street.
Let me read some more. It says, Grady Judd is the absolute best there is. We need more like him throughout our nation. It says, ever since I was a child, I refused to step foot near Disney because of this crap. We couldn't afford it anyway. Some kids who I knew came back with stories of employees being extra touchy or trying to lure them away from their fam. Parents never believed the kids anyway.
You know what I'm saying?
It says, it's a blessing to have a person like this man in law enforcement who is dedicated in taking down these sick-ass predators. Let me read. These are comments underneath that particular comment, because I thought that comment was interesting, and I figured it would start a little conversation underneath it. It says, so disturbing and glad you're sticking up for the kids. LOL, yeah, I never understood that. Parents never believed us. But this generation don't even respect them, and they left them to be a parent. They let them be the parent. I knew about the sexual innuendo message in their movies as a teen, so I never felt like going there. So as a child, you hear about child molestation and child trafficking going around at Disney. What was about you and your family and friends that you couldn't articulate a crime to authority?
Well, and look, when you really put everything in perspective, and you really think about how they have been putting those subliminal messages in their cartoons and even like regular TV shows, but for them to take the stance that they're gonna change 50% of their characters into some LGBT type of characters. Why would you want to do that to kids? What what I'm saying? Like, what's the purpose? And like, there's some form of depravity for you to have that thought process.
I couldn't add you, Elliot. It said device not connected. I don't know. It was kicking you out or whatever. It wasn't me. Let me read some more of these comments. It says, I heard about it too, secret messaging in the movies and all, but who you gonna report to it to if a place has its own government? Genius. It's called hearsay, evidence that couldn't get a warrant. Sadly, children are taught to respect adults. I taught my boys to be respectful, but not too trusting. If they didn't feel right, leave or speak up, and I listened to them. Another one, it says, not anymore. It's been stopped by the governor of Florida. I guess the cornball governors did something right by mistake. How would have known all this as a child, which you said is the reason why you didn't go? I smell a lie. Oh, then they started arguing. That's what always happens.
Well, I mean, there's always some troll in there, probably purposely and maybe even paid to disrupt the whole conversation. So, yeah.
He probably said in the back of my mind, in the back of his mind, I knew this day would come. I knew it would come. He had to have known.
Child predators. That would have been a grand slam week. But we got another one. This guy's from Gainesville. He's employed in construction. He did not travel, but he communicated with what he thought was a 14-year-old child online and said, don't tell the cops. And then he sent videos and stills of himself doing things an adult should never do in the presence of a child or publicly or recorded for public consumption. Nasty
Chris
stuff.
Hansen.
Rose here, Jody Rose is a nasty, nasty guy. He's 36 years old. So we traveled to Gainesville to get him. Or we had the Alachua Sheriff's Office travel for us to get him.
Can you imagine his face when they just rolled up in his yard? Yeah. That's the thing. You know what I mean? It sounds like to me Grady Judd taking over from Chris Hansen right now. That's what it sounds like.
When we arrested him,
I just remember this name too.
Maybe a misunderstanding on his part. It's not a misunderstanding on our part. He was sending nasty videos and photographs to children. No criminal history up until now, but now he's got 11 felony charges. So he made up for lost time with his arrest.
It still won't let me add you.
Would have been a grand slam.
It says device not connected.
Then there's Xavier Jackson. He's 27.
It says connect the mic.
He was chatting with a 14-year-old. And he sent photos of himself doing things that's totally inappropriate. He did not travel. So once again, the Orange County Sheriff's Office assisted us, and because he's from Orlando, and traveled to arrest him, where he was charged with 3 counts of harmful material and 1 count of unlawful communication. Oh, did I mention that he just happens to be a lifeguard at the Polynesian Resort?
Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. Yeah. How many kids he's come in contact with? Oh my gosh, bro. Did you ever think? Huh? We've all been to places that had a lifeguard on duty. Did you ever think? Sits up high looking down on everybody. Did you ever think that? I didn't.
For Disney. You think there's a few children around there? That's right. I didn't stutter. He was a lifeguard at the Polynesian Resort for Disney and was bragging about that.
Disney?
So we were able to arrest 4 predators in this operation. This is huge. 4 arrests of this magnitude in a week is simply remarkable. But let's move on. These guys weren't predators, but they all have something in common with the last arrest. They work for Disney. So you have Wilkeson Fidel. He's 24. He lives in Orlando. He thought he was coming for sex. He's been a Disney employee for 4 years, and he works at the Cosmic Restaurant in Tomorrowland. Except now he is in the county jail if he hasn't made bond yet. And then there's Shahab Malav. He's 27. He's a software developer for Disney. He's worried because he's here on a work visa from India. He thought he was coming to have sex with 2 ladies. Surprise. Once again, undercover detectives. Then there's Ralph.
He's gone. He's out of here. They probably gonna get him up out of here, bro. More than likely.
He's 45. He lives in Winter Garden. He's an IT employee for Disney. He's been there about 4 years, and he's married. So I'm sure Disney's not pleased. I bet his wife's not pleased, but we're pleased that we arrested him.
Grady always got away with words, man.
Yeah, I think it says enough. I mean, like people that really want to see the rest of it,
Yeah, because they could type it in. It's what they discovered in Disney Shocked the World. It's what's his name of this dude's page?
Shoot, I forget.
Let me see. The Matthews fam.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that Disney has biometric hand scanners?
Well, I didn't. When does that happen? Because I know the last time I went, it was like they gave you like little watches that you put up to the thing.
Right, that's like a RFID chip. I mean, it's a sleight of hand. If they let us know it's on a bigger scale, you just have to inform the public somehow. I've never heard of that story, but it's very interesting. And most people, it's like the news. If a tree falls in the forest, you don't know nothing about it unless it was on the news. And most people just aren't informed. People are too busy,
Well, but
with
that's
a variety of things.
But see, and that's the thing that kind of bothers me is that because I mean, shoot, last year they had a big bus where a bunch of U.S. Marshals arrested people from Ohio to Texas, and like unless you read, you didn't know it because it wasn't on any news TV, like mainstream media or really it wasn't even on YouTube. This was an article that I read where this was available. This information was available. U.S. Marshals matter of fact, shoot, even like it wasn't last year. This was because I'm like the pandemic kind of got my time close. So this because I started to remember because this was while Trump was in office, because I think he was going real hard on trying to get to the top of a lot of these things because like it was getting to governors, mayors.
Right, but says the man that had a picture with Jeff Epstein. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, see, but that's how they got close. That's how they even got close to Epstein was because of some of these same things, and I believe there was some connections. Was somebody gonna talk? What who I don't know. Like I mean, like I said, I mean, Jeff got suicided, so. It is, but however, like
right, most people don't believe that either.
But these people are so powerful that they can hide. The biggest ones, like they can continue to hide. They can knock people off. They can, do different things. Like they'll pay people's bonds. Like, all right, I'm getting you out of here. You say something, you know what's gonna happen, right? All right, like they can make threats, they can do all this stuff to keep them safe. And to me, it's like, how does any of these things happen if there is not somebody in high level places working in conjunction with?
Because they're benefiting, and if we really feel like this is happening and it's like a conspiracy, then we shouldn't patronize none of their stuff. You know what I mean? We should spend $1 with them.
Well, I mean, that sounds great. I mean, that's something that I'll be for. But I mean, we still need to be able to get products from somewhere. Who's gonna, say we gotta really start trying to do things for ourselves. Like, and shoot, now it's even more serious. Like, even for deeper reasons than, just, this one, subject.
I try to get the kids from watching TV. I try to get them to doing other stuff because it's like it don't really matter as far as like all of that shit trash, bro. Like they don't make nothing that's wholesome hardly, If it's really any kind of ads, then it's not gonna be. So that's why and the PBS is going away pretty much. It's got ads now, and it's like it's not the same as it was.
Well, that's one of the things that we're trying to and I'm saying we, I'm not in the heart of the, conversation as of yet, but within my government, there are guys that are actually trying to, like they've already got some deals made where they're going to be, like different anime, different stories, movies, like all kinds of stuff where we can start to change the scenario, like these change the stories in which we've been hearing, and putting something more positive out there. And that's one of the things that, like, while I was talking with, saying to Doc was, hey, we need to talk because you got some good content. Shoot, we can use it.
Yeah, man. And the older I get, and I used to take my kids to the zoos and theme parks and shit like that, but now I feel different now. I don't want to patronize these big theme parks and these these zoos, because it's horrible. It really is. It's really terrible. The more you learn about all of that shit. And then, with the theme parks, a lot of times you're getting ripped off anyways. The kids could have had more fun at the park and you just spent $2,000.
Well, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I'm, like I was excited to go to, this is a few years back. I was excited to go to Disney. Never been to Disney. All my friends, well, I say all, but good portion of my friends been to Disney from childhood. My first time going was an adult, and like I still want to do Universal Studios. Like, I mean, I think that some of these things, okay, it's not like something I'm going to be doing every day, but to somewhat have those experiences or whatever, it's not a bad thing. But
I almost did Universal Studios. I almost did that one, but I never was like Disney. Just didn't like. It's not a thing that was like. I mean, my kids wanted to go, and I kept kind of talk them out of it every time. So that's kind of how I dodged it. But we went to SeaWorld. I like SeaWorld better, but then I still feel different about that now. And I've been to SeaWorld multiple times, but I didn't know what I know now about SeaWorld, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, like when we were there at Disney, you know, like we went to Magic Kingdom. We went and had dinner at Animal Kingdom at the hotel, and it was almost kind of like I guess at that point it was more like what's the movie? Coming to America. Almost. It was almost kind of like being at, you know, Coming to America, because you can see at the restaurant, you can see freaking giraffes pass by, lions is, you know, walking over here, and you know, all this different kind of stuff. So I mean, it was a cool experience, you know what I'm saying? So I just think that we can't be foolish. Like, I mean, and probably the answer is just not to support. You know what I'm saying? Overall, really just don't support them, because we know that they have an agenda, and really, like I said, they have their own government there. Like you can report it, but you got to report it to these people first. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, can you really even beat it? They got all these underground tunnels, like.
No telling what the fuck they're doing or what the fuck is going on down there. And then whenever anything happens, or if it comes out, they're gonna blame it on a bad apple. Oh, this guy, you know, he was doing something, you know, yeah, take him to jail.
Yeah. Shoot, when they were trying to get Patrick, they wanted Patrick for you know, oh, would he be into acting? And it's like, well, you know, I went through all that, and that's not something I want for my son. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I went through that process a bit with my daughter when she was really small, and that's where they send you to. They send you to Orlando. They send you to Disney World, like, and so like if you win, like it's a process. They go around the states, and they bring a few like faces from like Nickelodeon or whatever with them, and they, you know, everybody is doing all these auditions, and all of this stuff costs a lot of money. And then they tell you these packages, they sell you these packages. Now you got to go to Disney World. You got to pay for the trip. You got to go into Disney World to do the other part of the interview, which is at Disney World, where they pick the people, and you could possibly make it, and they do discover people this way. But really, it's just a whole big scam just to rip off parents. You know what I'm saying? It's all just to make money.
Yeah.
Because the people do just get discovered this way, but that's not the way you go about it. You know what I'm saying? Not really. You want to get your headshots and all of that stuff, and your portfolio, and then you want to contact people who do that stuff, and you pay for an agent or a modeling agency or whatever it is, and they do the work to find you parts, and then you go on what do they call it, the you know, when you go and do it's like an interview to see if they want to use you for the part. And that's how it goes. I mean, like, the way it works is like, if the parents, that's what it is about a lot of this stuff, is like, you kind of got to have money to do this, because the reason why you got to have money is because you can't work while you're doing this, because these kinds of interviews and everything is going to be during the day on the other side of town, you know, maybe even in another city or another state or something. So you got to be able to move around during the day and do these interviews, and you know, so
there's some of these people, so they're courageous and want it. I say courageous, but it takes a lot of power for a parent to allow their kids to just be like a dormitory or something, where they got a bunch, you know, maybe a bunch of other kids that's here. Because I mean, just think about some of these kids that you know, these child actors they've been around for a long time, and then after a while, you know, like as a kid, maybe they thought that type of stuff was normal.
Right.
They get older, then now they realize, oh, so they wasn't supposed to be sticking their finger in my.
Yeah. So, but that's what drove me away from doing it. The more I learned about it, and I think that, you know, a lot of times it is like that. The parents are just giving the kids up as meat. You know, they're trying to get rich. You know, so they turn a blind eye. They look away.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to use their kid any damn way. You know, get rich quick scheme.
Yeah, man.
But like I said, for a lot of this, one, you know, they kind of got to have money. Like I say, one parent, if they have two parents, one of the parents, at least one of them, have to be available to do all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They can't really have a job and do that at the same time. So then that means they got to have enough income coming in to pay for all of this stuff, meanwhile not really having a job.
Yeah,
so either there's somebody else.
I don't know anybody, especially if you lack experience, that you're gonna just blow up off the rip. Like you have to be like somebody really special, like have a real, you know, that special look that they are looking for.
Well, you get lucky. I mean, lightning strikes. It happens. But that's not the average. That's not going to happen for most people.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, most people going to have to do that grind for years and do little parts for years and not really make no money because you don't really get paid until, you know what I'm saying, you're a name. You know, you might be doing a lot of that stuff pretty much for free. And meanwhile, like I said, all of this costs money.
Yep.
And you can't work while you're doing it.
And just think, for some of these people, like if you don't give your kids up that way, you just pretty much that you're one of those who never make it.
And that's what they don't care. They don't care. They're giving their kids up as like meat. Like I say, like, and I think a lot of these parents don't care, really. They pretend to care. Like, remember the Gacy case? The little girl was a child beauty pageant model and came up missing, and her parents was all like, we don't know where she's at and all that.
That little blonde girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. What about buddy from he had a television show and they found his son's head, but not the rest of anything. He had a dope show though. Like he was really intuitive. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so. Yeah, but my point is that these parents don't care about these kids at all. Like at all. They be depriving them, not feeding them, locking them in closets and stuff. Meanwhile, they're like taking them to these beauty pageants.
I mean, because you got to think some of these people realize they, you know, the community wouldn't let them get an abortion. I guess they had to keep them, and it's like, oh well, we can use them for this, we can use them for that. You know, I'm assuming that dynamic exists in some places.
And let me ask you this: if you think if it was legal, how many parents you think would pimp out their kids, like literally?
Shit, I know that there's parents that has, and it's not legal.
So, but this is a form of pimping out your kids when you're doing this pageants, the modeling, the TV, any of that stuff, even the music, it's all the same.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've already put them in an adult situation. So then now here comes sex.
Well, do you think that can be said the same for those who knows what kind of stuff has happened in these Catholic churches with priests and maybe other staff, and they send them there alone, you know?
And that's what the weirdest thing to me, because Just same thing with the Boy Scouts and all of that shit. Like this has been known and documented. Evidence, people getting locked up, all kinds of shit. And you just keep sending your kids to these same people? I don't get it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And whether it happened and y'all got rid of this priest, y'all sent him to another church, because usually that's what they do. They never go under any charges. They just have to leave that city and they move him to somewhere else. And, you know, they go somewhere else and do whatever they I guess, choose to do. But, you know, that's a part of their, you know, structure. It's sad to say that. I mean,
so these parents are basically okay with the priest touching on their kids because they have to know this, or they're okay with the possibility at least.
And that's the thing, that even if it's just a possibility, it's like taking a risk.
They're okay with that risk. You know, that's what I don't understand, because I'm not fucking sending my kids to somebody who is a known to do this, or organization that's known to do this thing, and let my kids be alone with them.
Mm-hmm.
No, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like, what happened to common sense related to, like, you know, shit like that? So, but the what was we talking about? And the damn church, man, I don't know. Like I said, that's another situation where if you want to get close to kids, right, you put yourself in a position where you can get close to kids, you know? So a person might want to be
and they automatically trust you because of your position.
Because of your position. So they might be their whole time like, hey, I'm going to be a priest. And then I can say, because maybe you don't have functional relationships with women or men. If you're a woman and you're going to be a nun or something, I don't know. I really don't understand this kind of psychology enough to really be able to explain it. But what I'm saying is maybe you don't have proper relationships with people, you know. So you're like, screw it, then I'm just going to pretend that I don't, you know, have sex. And, you know, I'm going to just fiddle.
But what's weird to me is that before, like Christianity, before Rome, the priests, the popes, and all of them, they had wives. At what point did they think it was bad for a priest or a pope or any one of them to have a wife?
Their whole rituals are all so weird and so secretive. The way that they choose the pope and all of that stuff, the politics related to all of that stuff, is so weird, bro. It's all of that shit is weird. The more you learn about it, it's just weird.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of dudes, and basically they're in a man cave.
I mean, it's a fraternity.
And it's a fraternity. And
I think it has a certain vibration, and what's kind of prevalent, what you're saying is like the Vatican. You know what I mean? Like, how much power do you really have in a certain amount of like region? You know
it's all, I think it's all pretend. And that's what I was about to say. It's like a bunch of people acting like, you know, pretending that they have power. Like, you know what I'm saying? Really, it's just a club. And so
they got power through violence.
Yes, that's true. But the Vatican don't have they have some arms guys or whatever, like a police force, but they don't have a military. So, like, they don't have like a military that can attack somebody or something like that. They don't have nothing like that. So, but their power comes in from the people. The people gives them power. You know what I'm saying? By submitting to them. You know what I'm saying? So when they come out and they say this or that or whatever, people go by it. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel like they have an authority. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
Yes,
That's why
sir. I understand.
a lot of their authority just came from them being the church, the head, because like the church and state was once kind of one thing, and over time, of course, some of that stuff changed, but to the masses, but it still kind of rang true at the higher levels because,
and it still does.
Yeah, because I mean, the Pope is almost like a king.
And you got to think about it. Think about whoever like Amy Coney Barrett or one of them in the Supreme Court justices or a president or secretary of state or head of FBI or whoever just so happen to be Catholic, right? And then the Pope says this, that, and the other, and then they're going to, that's going to influence them. So there goes power right there.
Well, yeah, a lot of people do go into the Catholic Church because of, the level of power that they're attached to through that system of religion. And I think that a lot of people do get, their growth in the world from that attachment as well. So it's kind of, like I said, I mean, it's almost like a fraternity. I mean, just because you were in Catholicism, you're Catholic, some people just like bring you in with open arms because of that. I mean, that sounds like a fraternity or sorority to me. It doesn't matter anything about your background, anything you've done before, whatever. Oh, you're what? Oh, yeah, come on.
And I think that's exactly what it is. It's the best way to freaking describe it, And so what a fraternity that does have power, but the power derives from, the people, the people giving their power to them, because and time is going on. The Catholic Church is losing power because of the perception of people and let's say the growth of atheism or the growth of monotheism. You know what I'm saying? The growth of spiritual practices. A lot of people are going back to their roots for their ancestors.
Most people would say that's pagan.
And that's what we were talking about earlier. And I think a lot of people would say that. But people are waking up. People are waking up and realizing
Actually, it's a personal experience. Being agnostic is...
But look, what's so crazy about Catholicism is that at the same time that they're trying to demonize paganism, they're adding it right into the middle of their religion.
And that was the craziness of that video that we played earlier. So you have to really squiggle your mind to be able to accept this stuff, to swallow this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how the words don't get stuck in his throat.
I might have missed something, but Kabbalism or Catholicism? What do you mean?
He's Catholicism, the Catholic Church.
Catholicism. Okay, I'm sorry. I was like, well, Kabbalistic teachings and okay, yeah, sorry, I was confused.
No, Catholicism. So,
shit, that's what's ruling the planet right now.
It is, and I would agree. But it's because of the people, what Pat was saying was it's crazy how they demonize paganism, but they have all this pagan stuff intertwined right into the religion. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. That's craziness. That's like that's a real mind fuck right there, So, but the people, like what I was saying is the people are waking up. People, when they say blasphemy, a lot of times they're trying to keep you away from the knowledge. When they say something is pagan or it's evil or it's the devil or something, then a lot of times they're trying to keep you away from the knowledge. People are waking up to that and realizing that, that you can't tell me how, to do my spiritual. You can't tell me how to do my relationship with God. My personal relationship with God is my personal relationship with God, and you can't tell me how to do that. What's right or wrong about it?
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but I ain't gonna listen.
I mean, yeah, you could try, but at the same time, I can give you an argument right back that's gonna dispute everything you just said.
because each man or woman has their own relationship with God, their own relationship with the universe, their own ideas of spirituality. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, I mean, because I made sure to kind of, I learned a little bit about each kind of religion, where I find that most of them have the basic simple principles. So that's what that's where I came to the conclusion. Hey, if you live by certain principles, you can have a good life. You know what I'm saying? So
And it's as simple as that.
yeah.
It really is
So
simple as that. And then when you start looking at universal laws that can't be broken, and then you start looking at the yin and the yang, and basically that's all the religions, all of them.
yeah, all of it comes from, like, really, all of it comes from cosmology, really. Like the ultimate, because I'm gonna tell you, when I started learning about metaphysics, is like what my understanding about life, the world, and everything really made sense.
And that me too, because that's because I went through my religious journey first,
Yeah.
but then I didn't really understand that until I went through my scientific journey. But it took me a while to understand the science. But once I understood the science, then it took me back to religion. And that's why I say I think that science is looking for God. Like science is the new religion. Science is related to religion. So it's like a lot of the stuff that they be talking about metaphysics is the same stuff these spiritual people have been saying for thousands of years.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it the same way, because it is what it is. It's not like science doesn't need to look for it because it exists within every aspect. Like no matter.
But they want to prove it. They want to prove it. Like science wants to prove the existence of God, because basically, if you're a scientist, you're supposed to be an atheist for the most part. We're just saying generally. Because how can you be a scientist and still have like a religion? You get what I'm saying? Because it kind of goes against your faith. It goes against, your belief.
What is atheism to begin with? I mean, that's not somewhere where you think that. I mean, because you just really just find another way to describe God.
I think so too. That's my point.
You just don't call it God. I mean, you call it everything except God. The universe, the source, like they call it all kinds of other things, but it's still recognizing the same entities.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you can't be a scientist and like science and faith don't go together. Science and belief does not go together.
Well, but really, and that's one of the things that I'm saying, because maybe belief exists in a child, but at some point, you've studied enough to have some knowing. That's what knowledge, you're relying on the knowledge, what you have learned, what you know about the world that makes all these things true. Being a believer is just halfway, you're still kind of determining, you're balancing different ideas that where you're not able to truly see the evidence of what really is. You know what I'm saying? So I think at some point believing is secondary or thirdary, like knowing, having a knowing, and truly being able to, you can't have faith unless you know something. Just believing, that's be lie, that's it could be a lie, it could be the truth, like you just kind of stuck in between, you don't know. I believe, yeah, it could be not true, but I believe it could be. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when like some people act like knowing that these things exist, or this world you're living in has
realities to it, regardless of what dimension we're in at the moment.
I would say some people will argue that knowing is a bad thing because you're not supposed to know this stuff. Like,
well,
that's not how I think, but I've heard this argument. I can't articulate it well, but
okay, but at the same time, these are the same people that say they have faith. How can you have faith and not know? Like, if you have total faith, how do you live through life without already expecting or knowing that what you believe or what you think or how you see the world is gonna react to you the way that you want it to?
Yeah. But they say, you're not supposed to know this stuff, or you're supposed to give it to God. It's like you're trying to be better than God or whatever by knowing all this stuff.
But I mean, we're all gods. I mean, the whole God, like, he's having an experience. God is having an experience through us every day, each one of us. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you are giving it to God when you allow yourself to just be.
Yeah. So I can't argue with none of that, what you're saying. So, but they argue with me though, and they're like, that's not for me to know, It's not for me to know all that stuff. I'm supposed to just have faith in Jesus Christ, my Savior. Give it up to God. Jesus, take the wheel. Want to do it?
Oh Lord. Yeah, I mean, I love those sayings. And sometimes I tease the people around me, won't he do it? Because you hear people saying, but it's not that they're wrong. You know what I'm saying? You can have those comments and still be a knower, because your perception, the way you express it, could be different from others. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's no judgment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, regardless of what people say, what they think, what they do. All right, cool. Do your thing. I'm gonna do mine. And like I said, I might say that jokingly with somebody, but at the same time, whatever you call that reality that you're in, if you choose to say he or she or whatever you decide, okay, whatever that entity is to you, then yeah, they will do it. It will be done. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie, I'm tired. That's why I haven't been talking that much. I'm about to wrap it.
All right, man. Yeah, I guess I've been able to last a little because I've been able to give me a little bit of nap this week. I was able to give me a little bit of nap before the show, so I'm not like bringing the whole day into the show.
Yeah.
At one time, I was falling asleep. At least I don't know for how long, but I was falling asleep in the middle of the show.
Yeah. You sound better too, bro. I wouldn't say that. You don't sound as congested.
But I am.
I can hear it, but sometimes you sound so stuffed up.
Well, I am kind of stuffed up right now, but I think with a lot of the toxins and stuff that I'm trying to remove from my body, it's giving me somewhat of a reaction. My doctor says that it shouldn't be like, it should just be going through, excreting out my system. But I don't know, for whatever reason, I kind of feel like I'm getting some effects from the toxins, the movement of the toxins in my body. But it is what it is, it's not like some major like sickness, but yeah, I do kind of feel a little stopped up right now. Like I probably should go on and clear my sinuses up now.
Yeah. So what about tea? They said you could drink teas, right?
Well, yeah, no, I've been still drinking my tea, but when I drink tea, I drink less water. Like actually just drinking water, because like I've been doing the lemon water, lemon or lime water, and which is supposed to help move a lot of that stuff, breaking it up within my system. So I may do tea once or twice out the day, usually in the morning, maybe in the evening, but usually during the day I'm just drinking water.
Look at this. It says woman charged with sexual assault after poking holes in man's condoms to get pregnant.
What?
I saw this floating around, and I think it's interesting that a woman gets sexual assault for this. They've been doing this kind of thing a lot for a long time. So some dude probably must have been mad. I think a lot of times the guys don't ever say anything.
Well, I mean, but you got to think too. There's a lot of times when somebody took it serious enough, because somebody may have reported stuff like this before, but then they the police will look at us stupid, like just making any kind of complaint against a woman is like, oh, you a little bitch, and it's like, bro, like so I mean, a lot of that stuff is starting to change, bro.
I hope so. I think it should, like in those cases where the young girl, like the guy gets statutory rape or whatever, he gets to be called a sex offender, and she's like 16, he's like 17 or something like that, or maybe it's like the girl lied about her age, and you know what I'm saying, the guy didn't know, and then I think in some of these cases, if you're gonna charge the guy, then you should charge the girl too.
Yeah, I think that at least in some cases that should be true. I mean, especially in the statutory case, I would say that the child, that teenager or whatever, knows more than the guy does. Now if the guy knows the kid from knows everything about this kid, that probably be looked at differently. But some of these girls look older than what they are. Like it can be scary sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a scare at one point in my life where it was like that, and from then on, I'm like, shoot,
let me see your ID.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to know more. Like, where your mom at? Who? You know what I'm saying? I want to meet your family. I want, you know what I'm saying? Before I get into any kind of close counters with you, let's talk for a little while. You know what I'm
saying? Let me read the comment or the explanation or whatever. It says the perpetrator had reportedly been involved in a friends with benefits style relationship with the victim since 2021 and regularly would meet up for hanky-panky. However, she soon craved a deeper connection, a feeling that was not shared by her bed buddy, who preferred their casual arrangement. That's when she decided to perforate her partner's prophylactics without his consent. The sperm burglar, who the hell wrote this?
I was one say, bro, because I'm listening to this. I'm like, okay, who's the right on this? Because like the way they wording this thing is, and it was a winner. Like it's kept getting progressively better. Like,
let me read some more. It says the sperm burglar never became pregnant. However, she sent him a WhatsApp message claiming she was, and also admitted to tampering with his rubbers, DW reported. The victim responded by pressing charges, whereupon the woman admitted to stealthing in court. Stealthing. Is that what that the official word of. And then it says, after mulling a rape charge, the lawmakers reduced it to sexual assault after reviewing the crimes of stealthing in a law doc. They had to look this shit up. Judge Solowinski reasoned that while the crime is usually committed by men, the provision also applies in reverse case. The condoms were rendered unusable without the man's knowledge or his consent. She declared, no means no here as well.
Exactly. Hey, but look, that same thing is coming up again with that what is it? Roe versus
Wade.
Yeah, Roe versus Wade, where like I heard Elizabeth Warren talking about it. Even Biden, where they're making comments where they're saying their body, their choice, their, this, that, and the other, but they didn't have the same kind of sentiments when, it was coming down to the Jabbawowski getting a jab. They didn't think the same way. So it's like, how hypocritical do you have to be to really? And you know what? Something I thought about. Where's the team of people that's gonna come up with the lie? Like count how many lies Biden has told since he's been in office, like they did Trump. Where's that calculation? Because this dude been telling some tall ones himself, but nobody's coming out and really saying anything about that. They hide it, or try to act like act like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Blame it on him being old or something. Like, he gets all kind of freedoms to, where he can just get away with stuff. But, they made a guy who's about the same age, the same kind of, made him more of a victim of, I believe all of them lie. I'm not surprised by
but it's believable. I ain't gonna lie, it's believable. Even though it's probably not true, it's believable that Biden, had a lapse of mental capacity.
Yeah.
To say that about Trump.
Because you can see that Trump had a lot more coherency. So, yeah, he could probably be more responsible for his lies than Biden, because in some cases, like, we're looking to see, is he all the way, like, is he awake? Is he, what we get, which Biden are we getting today? You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy, bro. I got to be careful how I talk about Trump, because I become a Trump supporter at some point. But however, it's just like, they don't do the same. They're not fair about it. If they're gonna put up the poll on, how many times this person lied and whatever,
you're a Trump supporter and a Nazi sympathizer, and you're a Putin puppet.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been cussed out many times in my life, and I'm finding out there's new ways to do it now.
It's like, how did you make all these connections? Where did Putin come in? Like, how? What is?
You know what I'm
saying? And you're a Republican.
You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe I lean more to being a Republican or whatever, but I know I'm definitely a conservative. But I've told like, all right, technically, just for the record, I have I'm a independent when it comes to my political status. But in my day-to-day life, I'm more conservative. And I also have, I guess, maybe some liberal ideas or thoughts, but for the most part, I'm a conservative male. Like, there's some things, and like I said, I mean, nobody is just one thing. You know, like if you got balance in your life, you're not gonna be just one thing. You're gonna agree on things on the opposite side sometimes based on the situation. But I don't know.
Yeah. So what you got going on next week? You gonna be able to join the show and shit?
Oh yeah, I most likely I'm gonna be here. I mean, I'm you know, I'm working. Like the first couple of days of the week is when I feel like I get more stuff done. And like right now, like I'm saying, bro, I was so tired. I didn't even get up until it was time for me to drive, go pick up this load this morning. So working on my other stuff, I didn't even do it, you know. But like I said, I'm not really tripping. I want to go and get that stuff done because I'm trying to get out of this truck if I can.
Yeah.
Well, not if I can, you know, it's a matter of when, really.
Yes. So it's just a matter of time. Yeah, and I gotta work tomorrow. It's Mother's Day, so we'll probably be busy at the restaurant. Mother's Day is one of the bigger restaurant days. If you didn't know that, like, I think it's what is it? It's Mother's Day, and
I used to know stuff like that. You know, that's been years ago, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like 3 big days of the year for restaurants, and one of them is Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Because everybody like to take their, family out to eat for Mother's Day. So,
well, Mama said I ain't cooking shit. So,
yeah, which is not a bad deal, That's not a bad deal. Mom don't have to cook today.
Yeah.
Hopefully, she don't have to pay for it either.
And look, regardless of what that video said about people, not actually doing it on that day. Look, if you care about your mama, shoot, your mama might see the world totally different than you do or whatever. Don't make her feel like she's unworthy, for the worldly Mother's Day, and continue to just celebrate her, tomorrow
and the rest of the year too. So yeah, go ahead and give her a gift for Mother's Day. That doesn't mean you're worshiping the devil.
Yeah.
But give your mom some gifts some other days of the year too.
Definitely. They like when you pay their bills, or you.
That's what I do. I just give my mom money. That's all she be wanting most of the time.
Yeah.
I be trying to give her gifts. She's just like, just give me money. I'm like, okay.
Well, no, I wanted you to have this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I usually what I do is I buy her a gift and give her money. So that's how I do it.
Yeah.
A light gift, something hopefully she'll use, and give her some money. Pretty much do that for all the holidays, birthdays, Christmas.
Yeah, same here.
All right, man. I'm gonna wrap it because I'm tired and I gotta work tomorrow. So. And sure, we'll be back next week. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna talk about. Whatever freaking pops up.
All right, man. Well, we'll holler, bro. If I see something interesting, I'll send it to you. And like I said, I don't send it in the group because, like, I don't want to get people, that's on you to share,
All right.
But holla.
All right, man. Get you some rest.
Peace and love.
All right, man. Peace and love. Have a good night.